2000 is an international spiritual initiative established to draw young people to a deep and lasting union with Jesus Christ, placing the Eucharist, the source and summit of the Christian life, at the center of its mission.
Jesus cares for you.
Jesus is my teacher.
Jesus is loving.
Jesus is merciful.
Founded in 1990 by a young Englishman named Ernest Williams because he was inspired by John Paul II's call to young people at World Youth Day, 1989 at Santiago de Compostela.
The new discovery of Christ, when it is authentic, always directly results in the desire to bring him to others. That is, in a commitment to the apostolate. It is not enough to discover Christ. You must bring him to others. And so, today's world needs many apostles, especially apostles who are young and courageous. You, young people, have in a special way the task of witnessing today to the faith, the commitment to bring the gospel of Christ, the way, the truth, and the life, into the third Christian millennium, to build a new civilization, a civilization of love, of justice, and of peace.
Welcome back to Rejoice. I'm outside this beautiful church here at Ampleforth Abbey. In the last episode, we heard about reconciliation from Father David, the ability to receive the mercy of God once again, to know his love over and over again. Today, we're going to hear from Fiona Whitehead. She's going to speak to us about the importance and the need for prayer.
I'm delighted to be here, and thank you very much to the team who have organised this for us and have invited me to give this talk. Can you raise the hand if you had a good night's sleep last night? That's a lot. Raise your hand if you had no good night's sleep last night. 1, 2. Very few. Very few. So who was in the room with the big green light when you walk in? Anybody? Yes, right. All the ones that didn't sleep well last night, yeah? So last night I walk into the room after the beautiful time that we had in here. Walk into the bedroom. I'm here with, I don't know if he's here now, my husband Nick, and little Benedict, who is 4. So they're both in bed, asleep. And I walk in and there's this like green glow in the bedroom. And it's this big random light that was on all night in the room. So I was like, oh, that's okay. Just put something, you just make do, right? Put this thing over my eyes. And I'm like, and of course I turn over and it fell off. So I'm like, that's okay. Put it back on again. I'll get to sleep soon. And then it must have got to about 10:30 or 11 when we finished in here, right? And then we're staying down in St. Hugh's, and it felt like it was like happy hour. Everyone kicked out of the pub. 11 o'clock. Oh, it's like, yay, I could just hear chats and laughs. And I'm like, that's okay. This is a youth thing. Just go with it. They'll stop talking soon. No. Got a bit later. I was like, okay, Lord, I know this theme is rejoice. I know these guys are rejoicing. They've been to confession. A lot of them, they're happy. But can they please stop rejoicing because I want to go to sleep? I've got this green light. I've got a vest over my eyes. And then the girls next to us, I don't know who they are because I decided not to look. They were having a good time. They were chatty. They were laughing. And the thought went through my mind. I was like, it's like they think it's like New Year's Eve or something. They've just got to stay up till midnight, and then maybe they'll go to sleep. So praise God, eventually I got to sleep. And then Benedict's up at 4 a.m. for the toilet. And then that's me. I'm like, okay, I'm awake. So it really is good to be here. Whatever the feelings are, it's not about feelings, it's about truth. The truth is, and this is the truth, seriously. When I walked in, I haven't been to Youth 2000 stuff for a while. And when I walked in, I was like, I feel like I'm home, I feel like I'm at home here. Don't know many of you don't know each other, but this is what it's all about. When Jesus is here and we're here with him and he's present to us, and we're present to him, then we're home. This is that taste of home and that taste of heaven that we are made for. So I love Youth 2000 very much because this is what it does, just connects us, just brings us right here before Jesus. So the talk is prayer, and I'm going to speak a little bit about our search for God and God's search for us. We'll speak about Our Lady because in prayer she's the greatest one. If it's hard for you to pray, Mary will help you. And perhaps you feel, perhaps last night you were looking around and thinking, well, everyone else is having a great time here, and you might still be feeling on the edge. You might still be feeling a bit on the outside. I remember being at big events, big group things, and thinking, everyone's looking like they're having a great time, and this thing hasn't happened for me yet. So if that's you, I just want to assure you that, your moment will come, that nobody is here unnoticed or kind of unseen. And we just wait. We just bring ourselves before God and we let him do what he wants to do. Okay. Has anybody played hide and seek? Yes. with a little child. Okay. They're not very good at it, right? So I've mentioned little Benedict. He's 4. He's very proud of being 4. Right, Ben? He's just right there. Yeah. And, oh gosh, I was going to tell this story. Now he's going to hear me, saying that he's not very good at hide and seek. So I'll try and talk in a way that, won't upset him. So he hides. He's probably not listening to me anyway. He never does. He hides, and he's all excited because we're playing hide and seek, right? And he hides, and I have to count to 10, and he tells me exactly where I have to be. No, you have to be in the bathroom, or I have to be in wherever. I do my counting really slowly. 1, 2, he's hiding. I know where he is. 3, 4, 5. I get to 10, and I have to do this thing, right? Oh, are you over here? No. Are you over here? No. And then I look under the bed, and there's this big moment. Oh, I found you. And his little face is like all surprised. Whoa. So, Mommy, that was great. I want to hide again. So I'm like, okay, you go hide. I'll count. He goes to the same place. We start it all over again. I count 1, 2, 3. I'm losing a bit of enthusiasm, but I'm trying, Right, okay, are you here? No. Right, okay, are you down here? No. Oh, I know where you are. You're under the bed. And he's all like, you found me. It's really annoying. That's only because I'm an impatient person. But what I realize is that with Ben, with this little boy, he just loves to be found. That's what it's all about for him. He's like, Mum's looking for me. I'm going, Ben, I'm calling his name. I'm looking for him. And then there's that moment where I find him, and it's exciting, And I was thinking about this image because I think prayer is lots of things, but I think it's our search for God. We're always looking for something. We could be searching for our identity, like who am I really? What is my life about? We all want to be happy. We search for happiness. We look for it. We try to avoid the things that make us unhappy, and we want to be with the people and do the things that make us happy. That's just being human. So we're searching. All of our searching ultimately is a search for God. And here's the thing. God loves to be found, God loves to be found. He loves us to search for him. And he's not hiding, though. That's the weird thing, because he's not hiding. And often it's us, right? Children don't really know about hiding properly. It's just a game. We learn to hide as we become older. We get better at hide and seek. In fact, once I did such a good hide and seek that no one ever found me. I was under the biggest beanbag. It was bigger than, a coffee table. And it was boring, because I was under there, just suffocating. And I was like, no one found me. So we love to be found. Yeah, we love to be seen, we love to be found. And so we're made for this, and I think that this is something of prayer. St. Augustine, he was a seeker, and for a long time he sought in all of the wrong places. And then there's this beautiful quote from him when he came to know the one that was the fulfillment of everything that he was looking for in his life. And he was a bit kind of later in his life, he was in his 30s, old man. He said, late have I loved you, talking about the Lord, beauty so old and so new. And see, you were within, and I was on the outside, and I sought you there. And in my unlovely state, I plunged into those lovely created things which you made. You were with me, and I was not with you. The Lord is always with us. He's always with us. He's within, but sometimes we're not aware. We don't know where the Lord is. And that's just the human condition. We're constantly going to be looking and seeking him. And even when we find him, he's gone again. It's like the Song of Songs, right? It's I was looking for you, then I found him, and then he was gone again, and then I found him. So we just keep looking. The most important thing that you can learn in your life is how to pray. The thing that I want most for Benedict, and I love this little boy with all of my heart, and the thing I want most for him is for him to learn to pray, because then I know he'll be okay, whatever happens in his life. The Catechism of the Catholic Church says that prayer is the raising of our mind and our heart to God. It's kind of simple, but very deep. It's asking for good things from him in accord with his will. It's always the gift of God. Sometimes if I pray, and I've prayed for a while, or I've been to Mass in the week, I've done some big prayer, I feel like I've done something, I've given God a gift. But that's his gift to me. The fact that I can pray is God's gift to me. Prayer is the personal and living relationship between you and God. It's being with him, it's loving him, it's sharing your heart with him, it's talking with him, walking with him, In fact, let's do something now. I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes and just still your heart just for a moment. And it might sound a bit weird, but go with me. Just quietly, within your own heart, say your name to yourself. So this is where God is, and God is closer to us than our own kind of breath, than our own kind of thoughts. And he's in that place. And if we can all do that, if we can close our eyes, if we can say our own name and hear that, then we can pray and we can hear God. So back to, you can open your eyes, unless you want to have a little nap, and I don't mind, especially you guys that had the funny green light in your bedroom. Just to move on a little bit, Our Lady, Mary, knew what it was to seek God. Now, in one way, God was always with her. She was a mother of Jesus. They were always together. right? But do you remember a time when Mary was separated from Jesus? There's a story in Luke's Gospel when he was 12 years old. We don't have many stories of him as a child, but Jesus was 12 years old. They had traveled to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. And it says, I'll just read a little bit here from Luke chapter 2. After the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, in the group, they travelled on for a day. So they weren't too worried initially. But then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends. And when they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. And after 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother, Mary, said, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" But they didn't understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart. So Mary, our mother, she knows what it's like to be without Jesus for some time. She didn't know where he was, and she was filled with great anxiety, and she had to look for him. So she understands our kind of restlessness, our anxieties, our fears, our searching. She's a brilliant person to ask for help, to pray, because we too can be unaware of where God is. And we need to ask Mary, the mother of Jesus, to help us. On the cross, some of you will remember the story when there's Mary and the beloved disciple John. They're the only two, and some of the other women, at the cross when Jesus is crucified. And at that time, that's when Jesus gives his mother Mary to the disciple John. He looks at the disciple and he says, "Here is your mother." And to Mary, he says, "Here is your son." And it says in the Bible that the disciple took Mary into his home. So you and I are invited to take Mary into our homes. We are that disciple. And Jesus says, to help you to pray, to help you to find me, to help you to be in relationship with me, I'll give you my greatest gift. I'll give you myself first, but I will also give you my mother, So we're invited today, if we haven't done it, to take Mary into our hearts, to welcome her into our home. And I've mentioned Benedict already, but he is just about to start big school. And he's our only child, and he's fine about it. He's ready to go. He's got his uniform. He's had a proper haircut in a hairdresser's. He didn't want his auntie to do it. He was like, "No, Mummy, I want to go to a hairdresser's. It will be better than Auntie Nick." So kids just say it, right? They don't hide it. He's like, "Nope." So we did it. He sat up there all proud, like he had this big boy look on his face. I am so anxious about him going. Like if I think about it and you weren't all looking at me, I'd be like, ugh. It's like a dread. It's like, you've got an exam, you've got something coming up that when it's niggling you, and then when you think about it, you're like, oh, it's coming up. I'm just scared, and I'm scared to let him go because I love him so much. I don't want him to get hurt, I don't want him to have a bad day and I'm not there. I'm just like, I'm anxious about it. And I'm trying not to be, trying to just like trust God because I know it will be okay. But it doesn't stop me from being anxious of letting him go. And I woke up, I do have a bit of a tendency to wake up 4 or 5 in the morning. I woke up early this day and I was just filled with this anxiety. It was horrible. Like it was draining me. I was tired. I was restless. And then immediately I thought of Our Lady. because she understands she had a son who she had to let go. She had to give him up. She had to, he was hurt, And so in every of our human experiences, all of them, she will understand. And she's an advocate. She will bring our fears, she will bring our worries to Jesus. So we never need to fear a relationship with Mary. And I just would encourage you to welcome her into your home. And then just to begin the third point really, kind of third and final point, when in that Bible story in Luke, Mary and Joseph were searching for Jesus, where did they find him? In the temple. What was he doing in the temple? He was teaching in the temple. Where will we find Jesus today? What's our temple? The church. Teaching. Jesus teaches in the church. That's where we find him. Annabelle shared a beautiful testimony last night about, trying, just stepping out for a bit, trying a few things here and a few things there, and that's part of her journey. And God loved her at that time, and her family loved her at that time. But ultimately, she was led back to the Eucharist, to the teachings of the church. So when we pray, take advantage of the simple things in the church. I don't know if you go to Sunday Mass every Sunday, but if not, then I would ask you, why not? What is more important, I know that there are sports, I know there's study, I know some people have jobs, but for God to be at the center of our lives, he's first, and those things work around them. And if he isn't first, then all of those things don't feel right until we have everything centered around Jesus in our lives. So Jesus is truly present in his church. You might remember the story of the disciples on the road to Emmaus. They're walking along, Jesus has died, they're walking along, they're downcast, he's gone, right? He's gone. They're not even searching for him because they have lost hope. They think it's all over, and that's that. It was not true, he left us, he died, they're despairing. And then this person walks along. They're unaware of him. They don't know it's him walking with them, but there he is. He's walking with them. He's talking to them about all this stuff that's all about himself. And they still don't get it. They're hearing the word, but it's falling on the ground, right? And then, can you remember what he does? Breaks the bread. Well done. When he breaks the bread, their eyes are opened, and they recognize him. And then he's vanished. But I'm pretty sure he didn't take the bread with him, right? He didn't need it. He left it for them. They were the hungry ones. So the bread becomes Jesus' body on earth now, because Jesus has ascended and gone to the Father. So if you want to be close to Jesus, be close to Our Lady and be close to Jesus in the Eucharist. I guess I just want to say this as well. Whatever your vocation is, so I've just been married for 5 years, and I'm happily married, and I love my husband and I love my son deeply, and they are my greatest gifts. They're such a gift and such a joy. But even if your vocation is to marriage, and you're waiting for that, or whatever your vocation might be, it is ultimately Jesus that will fill that place in your heart. It's ultimately him. And we're restless until we rest in him. So I'm just going to end with 3 suggestions of prayer. Personal prayer every day. I don't know how you want to do that. I don't know where. Probably get out of bed, and wash your face and brush your teeth so that you're at least kind of, properly awake. But find somewhere and take your Bible or take a book that helps you to think about God, and just sit there and say something. Or don't say something if you're a quiet person and you do mental prayer. It's called mental prayer. It's good, isn't it? Prayer in your mind, quiet, contemplative prayer. Do it every day if you can. 5 minutes or even 10. I'll be very honest with you. This is my greatest distraction in personal prayer. This little black thing, it competes for my time with Jesus. So I'm working on that. Haven't cracked it. But we've made a couple of rules in our house about this thing because it distracts me. Sometimes we use our phones for prayer, that's fine, but not when I end up on Facebook or quick text or quick WhatsApp. So try to put the phone away, try to find your 5 minutes every day. Mass every Sunday. It doesn't matter if it's not the same Mass as Youth 2000. It doesn't matter if you don't have, such great homilies. It doesn't matter if you don't have such great worship. It doesn't matter if you're not surrounded by cool young Christians. Doesn't matter. You just need to do it. We're not children anymore. We need to have this commitment to Sunday Mass. And if that's difficult for you, just talk it out. Talk it out with somebody here before you go away. If you're already going to Sunday Mass, maybe you want to do weekday Mass, or maybe you want to get to Mass early and stay after. Give it time. Sometimes we want the fruits from prayer, but we don't want the work of prayer. We want the peace, and we want the joy, and we want God to speak to our lives, and we want God to fulfill our vocation for us. Then let's put our work in. Let's spend time in prayer as much as we can, whenever we can. The rosary. I don't know if has anybody here prayed a full rosary for the first time since they've been on this retreat? Full rosary. Or is it, oh no, right, you guys are already on it. Good. And again, if you can do it daily, just step up. I would say wherever you're at with the rosary or prayer, step up, And the secret of the rosary, Father Stephen Wang, some of you will know this priest, he said once, the secret of the rosary is just pray a decade. So if you're overwhelmed, whole rosary, it's like 20 minutes, it's repetitive, do a decade. Whenever I do a decade, I pretty much end up, I do the whole thing. Because when I start it, I like it. I'm like, yeah, this is good. If you can't do the whole thing, start with a decade. The rosary is powerful because our Blessed Mother prays with you, and it will crush evil in your life. It will crush evil because she's the one who crushed the head of Satan. And it might be long and repetitive, but so are my sins. I'm fed up. Same old sins, same old problems. You keep telling your friends, they're like, right, we don't want to even hear this anymore. We love you, but same old stuff. So the Mass is sometimes long and repetitive. So the rosary is long and repetitive. It's going to break sin in your life and problems in your life. And I think I'm just going to stop right there because I don't have an end to the talk. So we're just going to stop there. Just pray and don't stop praying. That's my end. Never stop. The people I admire most haven't got it all together. They're not super duper crazy holy, but I just keep seeing them everywhere. They just keep popping up because they keep praying, and they inspire me because they keep going. So thank you.
What a beautiful talk here. What a beautiful encounter with the word and with prayer. What stuck out most to you? I love when she spoke about hide and seek. Probably not because of the reasons you think. I loved hide and seek as a game, but because in my own life I've seen myself hiding from the Lord and Him seeking me, and that's when I've seen His love the most. We're going to hear now some testimonies from people on this retreat about what the Lord is doing in their life, and it's such a powerful witness. I've had people come up to me and speak to me, and that's increased my faith incredibly. When you hear someone else's life being transformed with the Lord, it allows you to have your life transformed. And my life is transformed every day on this retreat.
My name's Emily and I come from Surrey, near London. It's my first time here at Youth 2000. I am a student just about to go to university. And yeah, I'm here because my cousin invited me. It was amazing just to walk in on the first night and see so many young Catholics in one place. Everyone has lots of struggles in their faith, but every time God is very faithful and always brings people through. And it's been so inspiring hearing so many great stories as well. I've really loved it.
So I am Milan Sebastian Thottathil. I am from Kerala in India, and I was blessed to be born in a Catholic family. I grew up in a Catholic background, and I have two uncles who are priests and 4 aunts who are nuns. So I grew up with them learning about the church, and then my parents are devoted Catholics, and they brought me up well in the Catholic background. When I moved to UK at a very challenging time during the pandemic, and the only place I felt very welcome was the chaplaincy in Leeds. That's how I got to know about the Youth 2000 retreat, and it has been very amazing. Like I was very stressed because I was overworking and then exhausted, so I was looking forward to this to rejoice and refresh myself, and it has been great. Like I am without words because I was filled with joy after yesterday's confession, reconciliation. We are all praying together, singing together, and the experience was something different, something that I enjoy doing every day. So that has been the best experience.
Remember that the love of the Lord will transform your heart. You are loved incredibly by Him. Stay safe. God bless.
You can't always. This is the death. Remarkably end.
Turn back towards God. Rise up.